Hey Steve, how are you? Joe here. Third episode of the Broadway block. We're looking like we're at 36 points today. How are you feeling about that win against the Caps?
I was screaming from my couch, man. It was a great game. It's nice to see Panarin with another multi-point game
Gotta love
and
the
some of
bread.
those breakaways, man. Definitely fun to watch.
Which one was your favorite breakaway? The Hedo one or was it the bread man from Brendan Smith?
Heedle, and an interesting stat they brought up on the game was that we are fourth in the league on breakaway opportunities, which is crazy. A lot of them are coming from the defensive effort. Heedle with the nice poke check, and even the Kako goal wasn't necessarily a breakaway; it's more of a 3-on-2 situation. But Panarin, great stick in the neutral zone, results in a goal, and it's more buying into the system of keeping those good sticks out. Mika Zibanejad disturbed a lot of plays in the middle of the ice, so yeah, that was the way you want to win against a team that's solid like that.
Well, I think they came out first 5 minutes. They had two goals, I believe. They had a scrappy second goal, and that was within the first 5 minutes of the game. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. And
Yeah,
then
it had the markings of typical Rangers losses where you're like, man, we're down already. This team is coming out of the gate strong. They're definitely playing a Capitals game against us, but yeah.
So Peter Laviolette obviously has got to be happy with Backstrom. He has 37 points for them for the season. He's definitely out there making plays happen. I think he was the first goal to Oshie. He was the great cross pass through. It just caught Igor not looking right, but Igor overall had a pretty good game. I would say he would definitely be higher up in the stars of the game. He kept us in when it was 2-0 to make sure when you go down 3-0, it's really hard to get enough momentum to come back. So Igor was
Yeah,
definitely big in that game for us. We came into the third period 0-10 when trailing in games coming into the third period.
that and the Caps have never lost this season going into the third period holding a lead. Yeah, hats off to Igor. I mean, the first goal, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was soft. It was soft defensively. It looked like one of those ones where he just wasn't expecting a shot. Oshie was wide open in the slot. Two defenders like just stared right at him. It was, and it comes off of a bad penalty that, I mean, I love Rooney, but that's a penalty within the first 2 minutes of the game. It was a holding call. He just drags him on the shoulders and sends him down to the board. There's no excuse on that. And we were looking flat. We didn't really look like we were knowing how to respond, but good effort to come back in that one.
So then we come out the third period strong. I believe who had the first strong goal? I think it was
It was Heedle to start.
Heedle to start. And then we had an assist from Strome on the Kako one, was that?
Yeah, tic tac toe from Panarin, Kako, and or Panarin to Strome back to Kako. Again, we talked about it in the first one. Goals that I could put in, man. When you just beam it right on the tape like that, if Kako misses that, it was a perfect feed. It was a perfect setup, and it started with a perfect poke check in the neutral zone. So
Uh, to talk about Ryan Strome, he's really making it easy for people over here. I believe he's on a 10-game point streak, and he's on an 8-game assist streak.
So 9 straight games with an assist, 16 points in his last 12 games. Pretty unreal.
And it's like we still don't know where the future with Strome's going to be. Is he going to be an essential part on the second or third line? Right now he's on the first line, but with some of these younger guys coming up, you don't know where he's going to end up. Or will he end up in one of these trade deadline deals that he gets shipped out?
Well, interesting you say that because if I started to pay attention in the third period, they were icing the Strome Panarin line after the fourth line, and they actually started the periods with that line taking the faceoff. So almost as if they were getting the first line attention, and then KZB, Kreider, Buchnevich, Zibanejad was rotating as the second line pairing. It was a couple really noticeable good shifts from the fourth line where they kept the puck in the capital zone and then sustained that pressure once the big dogs, you could say, got onto the ice. So it's great to see. We're still not quite where the Flyers or the Bruins are in the standings, but 2.5 games away from the Bruins. you got to snatch up these next 2 games against the Sabres and really start to cement the playoff conversation.
Well, I think you definitely don't want to fall into the trap game coming to play against the Sabres. If you watch them the other night, they were up 3-0 on the Flyers, ended up losing 4-3. So you definitely have to pay attention to them because they're a gritty team right now that needs a win more than any other team in the league. So you definitely don't want to come into that game thinking it's going to be an easy game and, everybody's going to be scoring. You definitely got to come in as if you were playing the Capitals, because I think we have 2 games against them and then we go right back into one of these teams at the top of our division. So
Absolutely. Well, we need to snatch up 4 points. Every game is a 4-point game in the standings. You lose and you're 2 points back, you win, you're 2 points ahead. So this is a real nail biter as it gets down to the last 20 or so games in the season. Need to snatch up some wins against them. And it would be nice, even though Jersey's behind us, if they could maybe help us out a little bit on some wins against I thought they were going to squeak out the Bruins there.
thought they were getting the Bruins. They lost in a shutout. Bruins still have games to play. I think their next 2 are against the Pens, so that could go either way for them. Maybe they split one, lose both. You don't know. Right now, they're definitely at a point of, are they a playoff contender or are they going to be a seller at the deadline? We don't know yet. I think they're kind of waiting to see how close or where they'll be at in the standings in the next couple weeks.
I think the bright side is this is where we expected to be, right? I mean, we're not in the playoffs right now. We're competitive enough where we're the only team in our division that has a winning record against the Capitals. We've handed them half of their losses. They only have 8 on the season. So if we can continue this play against good games, or against good teams rather, you play to the level, right? You play against the Sabres, you're almost afraid to lay an egg because it could happen. They're 19 games now. They're really looking for one. That ties a record for this last 20 years. So speaking of 20 years, it's been around that long since anyone not named Sergei Zubov or Brian Leetch has scored 30 points in this many games played in the season for Adam Fox. So if we can continue this plays, the top guys have been great. Really cementing that number 1 overall slot on the D there, Fox. So
he's the number 3 defenseman in the league with 30 points. The only people higher than him are Victor Hedman with 33 points and Tyson Barrie with 32 points. Good company to be in.
Well, man, I'm excited for the next game. Hopefully we get to talk about it soon.
Yep. I think that wraps us up today on the Broadway block. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Joe. Talk to you soon, man.
Talk to you.